Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Your Excellency, First Lady, Mama Margaret, Mama Helen Nkaisserry, Soila, Andrew, Beatrice, and Kenneth, and the entire Nkaisserry family, fellow mourners. I want to bring my very deep and very sincere condolences on my behalf and on behalf of my wife and family to the Nkaisserry family for the loss of your husband and father, and for the rest of us, for the loss of a colleague and a leader in our country. The first time I came across Joseph Nkaisserry was in Bissell, when the former president told us that there was going to be an occasion in Bissell, and we didn't know what the occasion was. And the occasion was to receive General Nkaisserry, who had just resigned from the military, to run in Kanu then as Member of Parliament. And I remember General Nkaisserry saying in that occasion that it was his first time to lift the one-finger salute of Kanu. And I want to say that it has been a journey from that day with President Uhuru and Nkaisserry and the rest of us. In that election, we weren't successful. We became members of parliament, yes. But that's how General Nkaisserry ended up being Shadow Minister for Defense and National Security. And as it would be, a few years down the road, he actualized being Minister for Internal Security. And I remember Nkaisserry. Whenever he called me, he would have a discussion, and then as a person trained with a military training, he would say, "Roger, sir, Roger, sir." So, and that reminded me of some old men from Rift Valley who had a problem with Roger. Because some old men would go to the gate of State House when Moi was president. And the guys at the gate would, of course, call somewhere, "Roger, iko wazee hapa, wamekuja, wanataka kuona mzee." Then after a few minutes, they would be told it was not possible for you to see the president, because many times they wouldn't have an appointment. And so when these old men finally came to meet Moi, they would tell him, "There is a fellow called Roger at the gate who is really giving us problems. Whenever we come there, they call a gentleman called Roger in here who gives us problems." And I would remind Nkaisserry of that incident all the time whenever he said that. But I was with Nkaisserry together with the president at the prayer meeting in Uhuru Park. And when Joseph Kinyua called me to tell me the news of Nkaisserry, it was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. But it also reminded me of the transience of life, that you can be here today and without being sick and without having an accident, you cannot be there tomorrow. But I want to tell the family that the whole lot of us empathize with you, and we believe that there is God in heaven that will comfort you, that will fill the huge gap that now is in your family. But we are confident that God will see you through. I was very pleased to hear Mzee Polong speak. And I didn't know the relationship between Polong and Nkaisserry. I thought they were friends. I didn't know it was a father-in-law, son-in-law situation. But it was very good what he said this afternoon. I got some very good news. When he spoke here about 1966, it was very good news for me, because that was the year I was born. And Mr. President, you know, always, whenever I stand close to you and I see strains of gray hair on your head, I normally tell you we are getting old. But I think you need to ignore that message. When I heard Polong say 1966 is the other day, then we are good. We are not, we're not doing badly. I think we are still young. Because when Polong says 1966 is the other day, then it makes the rest of us very young. Let me finally say the following, that I am very happy with what I have heard here about the life and times of our brother, colleague, and leader, General Nkaisserry. That every one of us has said something about the different perspectives of the life of Nkaisserry. And it's my prayer that this Requiem Mass becomes a turning point for us to remember that in a funeral, it's good to remember the dignity of the departed and be concerned about his family. And that the rest of us who are politicians actually, should stop making funerals political podia for us to further our politics. I really, very sincerely hope that we are going to change the culture that is emerging in our country, that funerals have ceased to be about the departed and their family and have become something else. It's my very sincere hope and prayer that General Nkaisserry will give us that turning point, and that going forward, we will do what I have seen this afternoon, to talk about the family and the departed. And in conclusion, I do not think in anybody's mind there is doubt that General Nkaisserry would have wanted and would have done everything possible for us to have a peaceful election in Kenya.